So you want to know why we don't believe. Now, I know this is hard to hear, but it's not because we are so in love with sin or a lifestyle that you guys feel is contrary to your Bible. Some of us actually lived that life. We walked that faith walk and we turned from our sin, so to speak. That's not what caused us and me not to believe anymore. It was my devotion and sincerity concerning my faith. It was my desire to see my faith manifested in real life that caused me to dig deeper. Upon digging deeper, I found that my religion borrowed from other religions, including pagan religions. My precious creation story, Messiah story, virgin birth, flood story, all were not originated with the Bible. It broke my heart, but I care about what's true, so I no longer believe.
Because you're stuck in religion and all that's fake. All of it. You just got to understand what you need to go directly study. And that's the key. So you can argue about history all day long. All religions are fake. The priest learned something different than the average citizen. And you got to understand the breakdown of the esoteric part, and you got it. You can bypass the bullshit. And let's break this down. There's your esoteric, which means hidden, and exoteric, which means outer, which everybody gets. Exoteric is moral teachings. Pray to God and hope you don't bump into nothing. The exoteric is what the masses get. The priests get the esoteric, the mystical. Your esoteric to Christianity is Gnosticism. Gnosis, Gnosticism. So bypass the Christianity, go to the Gnosticism. If you Hebrew, your esoteric to Hebrew or Judaism is Kabbalah, the Kabbalistic system. If you Islamic, the esoteric is Sufism. Original name is Malianism. That was some stuff that Islam came from. But the Cushite Arabians, whose Muhammad's father was, Muhammad knew certain things, and they carved all that little shit up, and Bilal basically wrote that thing. Bilalianism is what that is, and that's the Hebrew, the Ethiopian. So Gnosticism, Sufism, and Kabbalistic is your esoteric.
Oh, fucking created to do something for us. Ain't no fucking God gonna save us. If one even exists, it's through a spirit that's within us that's gonna make a change. That shit is crazy, man. Fucking waiting year after year after year, generation after generation after generation, great grandparent, grandparent, and fucking aunt, and now I'm down the line, and you think I can't see? If a train is coming down that motherfucking track 100 miles per hour, and I stand on that track, you think I don't know my fate is inevitable? You think I don't know I'm going to die unless I get off that motherfucking track? The track is waiting for Jesus. Every nigga that jump on that track waiting for Jesus get killed. Cause the train run them the fuck over. And you want me to now be the fourth generation to stand on the track and wait for the train to come and pretend like I don't know where this story is going to end up. Nah, we got to start trying to do something different now. We got to do something different. Show me a generation believing in your Allah that's delivering our people today. Ain't no trying to hip niggas on, let them know, yo, God full of shit. I'm telling you, ain't gonna work out.
Come on, you 15 minutes in now.
God flood the fucking planet when he don't like you. Yo, God flood the planet when he mad. He gonna come with fire and brimstone next time. He gonna kill 2/3. Nigga, you the one that made us in your image and after your likeness, and now you mad because I'm an asshole? If I'm an asshole, you an asshole because I'm in your image and after your likeness. How the fuck you could condemn me? But you make all these excuses for God. But do God need your excuses? Come on, man. Y'all made this shit up, and y'all should be ashamed teaching black people this bullshit. Tell black people something in them can thrive, and we could come out this situation. Stop making them wait for this fucking Allah and all this other weird shit. That shit is fucking fake. That Allah let us be in servitude in Africa for over 1,000 fucking years. Niggas believing in Allah. If a nigga called on my name and used my name to enslave my people, that shit be dead from day one.
The only person that's coming to save you is you. And when you wake up and realize that that voice you keep hearing in your head that you think is God is actually your voice, when that voice turns from a man's voice that you fabricated with your own brain, and eventually it merges or it morphs, and you get to the day where you realize the voice in your head actually sounds like you, when it actually changes from that fake voice and you hear your own echo in your own mind, that's when you reach a higher level of consciousness. That's when you reach a high level. When you hear that voice and that voice is actually your voice, then you pretty much could say, man, I made it. Until then, you're living in a delusionary state. If you keep calling God a he and giving God a gender and won't he do it and he gonna save me and he's good all the time. He's good all the time. I'm living here, I'm living in a mansion. I'm in the back house of my house, I'm living in a mansion. Or I can go 20 miles down the street and there's people living on the street. Won't he do it? Good all the time. Come on now, let's use some logic. Do you think that there's a God that can create universes that's saying, you know what? Billy deserves a mansion, but this guy down the street, he deserves to be homeless. Thanks for the badges. He loves me, but you know what? I think I'm gonna make him homeless because there's just something about Billy. I want to give him this mansion. That's the people getting jobs. God gave me this job. God ain't give you no job. You got a job because you're qualified. You passed the test. You passed the interview. You had a good resume. You know what you're doing. You're passionate about yourself. You have faith and confidence in your skills and abilities. And somebody said, I want to give this person a chance. There's nobody running around creating planets and universes that comes all the way back and says, you know what? Let me pause this. Let me pause creating this planet for a minute. I got to get back over here because so-and-so just needs to get this job. Meanwhile, there's 20 people on the corner, right on the street, right around the corner, begging for change at the red light. You see how we're thinking? You see how we're thinking? It's ridiculous. A whole catastrophe happens with tornadoes, comes through a whole neighborhood and destroys every house. A few houses remain. You interview the person. God saved our house. Do you really believe that? That God saved your house and destroyed all these other people's houses? Well, they're infidels now, right? There's a famous scripture in the Bible, in the New Testament, where, see, I'm an expert on the Bible. Nobody can debate me on the Bible because I'm an expert in this Bible. I know all the verses, I know everything, from front to back, back to front, all the broken down languages, all the translations and mistranslations as well. But in the New Testament, there's a verse in the Bible where, a passage where Jesus is speaking to a small multitude. And his disciples are around him, who, by the way, the disciples were ignorant men. In other words, they were illiterate. They couldn't read or write. So if you think the disciples wrote anything in the Bible, again, you're fooling yourself. The disciples wrote zero. They didn't know how to read or write. But anyway, that's a whole nother life. There was a bunch of women walking by a structure, by a building, an old building, while he was out there talking. It was a windy day. The wind came. Some of the loose stones at the top of that building came crushing down on those women as they were walking by and killed them. The disciples right away, oh man, they were with sin. They died for their sins. And you know what Jesus said? AKA Yeshua, his real name. He said, no, man, stop it. These women didn't die from no damn sin. He said they were basically in the wrong place at the wrong time, is his wording. They're in the wrong place at the wrong time, man. Sometimes shit just happens. Stop. You're going too far. You see? We got to stop attributing everything that's happening from some outside source. Something bad happens to somebody. God's will made this happen to them. No. Sometimes it's called coincidence. Sometimes it's called bad timing, depending on how you want to phrase it. Wrong place, wrong time, right? Sometimes it's based on our own decision. Every decision we make has a consequence, whether it's a good consequence or a bad consequence. I was talking to my driver this morning. We were coming back from the beach. My driver, Junior, if he's on here now, shout out to Junior. He's been driving me for years, right? And so we're coming back and we're talking about, these kind of topics, like people understanding outside source, inside source, when is a person going to realize it's them putting themselves in situations? He was talking about a place that he was located in with my other driver that I have, because we have to bounce back and forth sometimes. One is busy, one's not. Boosie. We were in a location, in a place outside that Junior could sense was bad vibes, bad energy there. And he was like, we're exposed right now. We're in a place where anything can pop off at any moment. We need to get out of here. And his friends were like, what are you talking about, man? He said, no. We're putting ourselves in a situation where there's a probability, the probability factor of something negative happen is increased. And he spoke, he acted on that action, and they left. Another person that can't discern their own consciousness, not God, and I believe in God. So if you think it's not that I don't believe in God, you're wrong. I believe in the creator of the universe, by the way. What I'm telling you is, your mind talks to you, because why? You are God. God is you. It's the same exact entity that created the universe. It's the same exact entity that inhabits every atom inside your body. And if you don't believe that, then you don't believe in God at all. If you don't believe that God inhabits every atom, then you don't believe in God. You're just a delusional person that believes in magic. And so because God inhabits every atom and your entire body, including your brain, is made of atoms, you hear yourself think. You hear yourself talk to yourself. He said to himself, his God body said to himself, hey, get out of here, man. You guys are in a high probability negative situation. When negative energy moves, it doesn't care what's in its path. It will devour everything in its path. It does not care. It does not care. It will devour everything in its path. You can make a decision. I'm talking about making conscious decisions and the consequences of those decisions. You can put yourself in a situation where the probability odds are higher that something bad is going to happen to you, whether physically, emotionally, or whatever, right? And so you have a power, though, within you to hear your voice and then move yourself from one environment to another environment. And you could change the outcome probability, and you can reduce the probability factor of negative energy towards higher energy. And put yourself in a situation where you're less, not that it's guaranteed, but you're less likely to experience negative energy.